Good morning, I am Dr. Hipsi. I am going to explain you about the oscillators. To study about the oscillator, first you have to know about the feedback principle. In an amplifier, a small part of the output signal may be fed to the input circuit by suitable means. This is known as feedback. When the feedback voltage is in phase with the input voltage, the feedback is said to be positive or regenerative feedback. If the feedback voltage is in opposite in phase to input signal, it is said to be negative or regenerative feedback. Thus, there are two types of feedback: positive feedback and negative feedback. The positive feedback is used in oscillators and the negative feedback in amplifiers. The voltage feedback may be proportional to the output voltage across the load, or it may be proportional to the current through the load. In the former case, the feedback is voltage feedback, and in the later case, it is the current feedback. The amount of feedback is determined by the feedback network. The circuit can also vary the feedback amount for different frequencies. The amount of amplifier gain with feedback is called closed loop gain. Without feedback, the gain is called open loop gain. The effect of feedback on the gain of an amplifier. Let A be the gain of an amplifier without feedback. If V0 and V1 be the output and input voltages respectively, then the open loop gain is given by A is equal to V0 by Vi. A fraction beta of the output V0 is fed back into the input circuit through the feedback circuit. Let the feedback ratio be beta. This is beta is equal to Vf divided by V0. Then the voltage fed back is Vf is equal to beta into V0. Vs is the source voltage supplied to the amplifier. The total input voltage Vi is equal to Vs plus beta into V0. Since beta V0 is in phase with Vs. From equation 1, Vs equal to A into Vo equal to A into Vi. Substituting the value of Vi from the equation 2, V0 is equal to A into Vs plus beta V0. V0 is equal to A Vs plus A beta V0. So V0 into 1 minus A beta is equal to A into Vs. Hence V0 by Vs equal to A divided by 1 minus A into beta. The ratio V0 by Vs gives the closed loop gain of the amplifier A with feedback. A prime equal to A divided by 1 minus A beta. Discussion: negative and positive feedback. Case 1. If the feedback is negative, A beta is negative, then A prime equal to A divided by 1 plus A beta. So A prime is less than A. The negative feedback thus decreases the gain of the amplifier. Case 2. If the feedback is positive, A beta is positive and less than 1. 1 minus A beta is less than 1. So A prime is greater than A. The positive feedback thus increases the gain of the amplifier. Case 3. Percussion criterion. If too much of the positive feedback is given such that A beta is equal to 1, then 1 minus A beta equal to 0. So A prime equal to A divided by 0, that is equal to infinity. If modulus of A beta is equal to 1, the gain A prime becomes infinite, that is, there is output without any external input signal. However, the output is not constant but varies with time. The rate of variation depending on the circuit parameter. The amplifier circuit under this condition becomes unstable and has a tendency to oscillate. It generates electrical oscillations at the output and it is said to behave as an oscillator. Thus, the condition under which an amplifier works as an oscillator is modulus of A beta is equal to 1. That is, A equal to 1 by modulus of beta. As beta is a fraction, the gain of the amplifier should be greater than unity. The amplifier produces a phase difference of 180-degree phase difference between the input and output signals. If the feedback circuit further produces 180-degree phase difference, the net effect will be that the feedback signal is in phase with the signal at the output side, at the input side. This kind of feedback is known as positive or regenerative feedback, and it helps oscillations to build up. Thus, conditions for the sustained oscillations are the feedback factor modulus of A beta is equal to 1 and the net phase shift around the loop equal to integral multiples of 2 pi. That is, the feedback must be positive. The above requirement is called Percussion criterion for oscillation. Effect of negative feedback on stability of the amplifier. The negative feedback reduces the gain but improves the stability. This can be seen from the relation between A prime and A for negative feedback. The closed loop gain A prime is equal to A divided by 1 minus A beta. If beta is large, the quantity A beta is greater than 1. Then A prime equal to A divided by A beta. So A prime equal to 1 by beta. The term beta is the feedback ratio and it is a function of the feedback network only. It does not depend upon the amplifier parameter changes or supply voltage variations. So the gain is steady, thus the feedback improves the stability of gain of the amplifier. Advantages of negative feedback. Negative feedback stabilizes an amplifier. The gain becomes independent of the transistor parameter and temperature. Negative feedback increases the input impedance of an amplifier, which will not then draw much current from the source. Negative feedback decreases the output impedance of an amplifier, which can then supplies a larger amount of current to the load, that is speaker.